Considerations for how large your data files are and how large they can grow are things you need to understand when creating databases. SQL Server allows you to set the initial size during the creation of the database, or you can just accept the defaults. This size determines how much data you can actually store in the database. We can also expand the size of the data files to increase the storage space, or shrink them later to decrease the storage space. But proper planning ahead of time is really crucial to supporting your database performance. Keep in mind that, by default, data files will grow as required until the disk space is full. So you may also want to put a cap on the maximum file size. So by default, without any form of configuration, the maximum size will be set to unlimited. You can choose different growth options such as manually expanding your database with T-SQL statement, or setting the auto growth option for the database, and choose whether you want to allow the database file size to increase by a certain percentage or by a fixed amount of megabytes. When we consider changing the size of the database in terms of auto growth or even manual growth in the database, you have to consider the impact on the performance while the database is being expanded. A database is considered offline during the expand operation, which means no new connections can take place. And anybody that has a current connection to the database will experience an interruption in their connection. So if you're looking to add more space to your database, you can consider adding another data file to the file group rather than increasing an existing file. And in terms of your transaction log file sizing, you should also allow automatic expansion to avoid running out of log space. You can also truncate that log file periodically if it's consuming too much disk space. So what truncating will do is that it will remove any committed entries and free up free space in the file. When you're shrinking your database, note that it recovers space by moving pages of data from the end of the file to unoccupied space closer to the front. Then the empty space at the end can be removed, which then frees up space on the disk for other data. You cannot shrink a file smaller than the initial size in which it was created. So again, it's very important to plan from the outset of how large your data files should be and how much they plan to grow. This will help you improve the performance of your databases as well as utilize your disk space properly. In the next lecture, we'll be taking a look at configuring our model database.